Hello everybody! We are gonna do a Q&A plus Filipino Food Haul. Ayan.
You want to do the haul first?
Yes. We went to Asian Al Food Market in Simpsonville today. And we got this food. Okay. We're gonna do the haul. I'm gonna get the cold stuff. Right. So let's start with the cold ones first because we're gonna put it in the freezer. Ayan. This is my favorite boneless marinated milkfish. Yeah, so every time we go to an Asian store, we get this. You've tried this one before.
Yeah,
you like
it's
it
good.
Too. Yeah, it's good. He likes it. Leche flan. Ayan.
For those that have never heard of it, it's similar to like an egg custard.
Yeah.
If you've ever had an egg custard, kind of similar.
I used to make this before and I used to sell it.
Yeah.
Then I stopped doing that. Okay, that one is good. Ube leche flan. So it's still like leche flan but with ube flavor. Ube is the purple yam. Okay, I'm gonna put this one in the fridge and we will be right back.
So we also got this one. This is my favorite. Would you consider this ramen or is it just instant noodles?
So. I think it's instant noodles.
This is my favorite. If you're a big ramen person or somebody who likes instant noodles, Indomie. All right, you can find this. We find this at pretty much any Asian store we go to because I don't think it's a Filipino specific product.
No, it's not.
But to me, this is my favorite. We like to put like a sunny side up egg or like cut up bacon or anything like that in it. It's pretty good.
Good.
All right. Next thing. All right, we've both had this before. It's Kopiko. It's like an instant coffee. But Kopiko makes a cappuccino version, and it's got like a little packet of, what do they call this? Choco granules, and you pour it in. So if you're a big cappuccino person and you're on the go, pretty good.
Yeah, that's
like
pretty
it.
good. You just need hot water. So basically, you just pour the powder in a cup, put hot water, stir it, and then you put the chocolate granules on top, and it's gonna look just like that. And it is good. Kopiko. Kopiko is a well-known brand of coffee in the Philippines. They have different ones. This is the one that we really like. I love Kopiko Brown and I love Kopiko Blanca because I like my coffee really like creamy. So yeah, that was good.
I'll let you do this one. Yeah, I don't know that one.
This is Sky Flakes. So it's kind of like saltine crackers. So is that what you call
for
it?
people in the U.S., we know saltine crackers. Sky Flakes is kind of like a Filipino version of a saltine cracker.
Yes, but this one is filled with condensed milk. They have different kinds. They have the plain Sky Flakes, just the crackers. They have the filled ones, so condensada, and they have chocolate ones as well. I know I've gotten that on the video.
Next, this was something I picked out, calamansi juice drink. So I've never had this before. So I'm hoping I'm gonna like it.
They have the best corned beef in here. This is actually the first one I've seen in here in that store. Masarap to pag ginisa. What is ginisa in English again? Saute. Did I say it right?
Saute.
Yeah, I don't like that word. It's kind of difficult to say. But anyway, yep. Okay, now you know this one.
Century tuna. So it's tuna.
Favorite ko yan. But in here though, they don't really eat it the way we do. Ginigisa kasi natin to, di ba? What's that word again? Saute. That's what we usually do in the Philippines. Ginigisa namin yan with onions and garlic. And sometimes we put tomatoes. I like it with tomatoes. It's good. So yun, century tuna. Meron silang iba-ibang ano doon, flavor. They have different varieties. So I got the one that's like flake kind of like flakes in oil. And they have one that's spicy, and you all know that we're not a fan of spicy food, so I didn't get that. And they have one with calamansi. That one is okay, but I like this better, so I got 3 of those. Yeah.
And we also got a mixture of halo halo. They had these like pre-mixed jars. So what? All you need is the milk and the crushed ice.
Crushed ice,
mix with
milk, and then leche flan on
because it's
top.
kind of already got like everything stacked in it.
I have never seen that one before. I know I told them about it, but it's good to come from you. What did you think about the halo halo when we had
It was
the
way
halo?
better than I thought. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a dessert with beans in it, which was a little odd to me, but it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So
I told you.
it's worth a try.
Yeah.
All right, now we got one of my favorites is Filipino spaghetti sauce. I'm not a big fan of spaghetti. For those that know me, I don't really like, especially like the Italian style spaghetti, like you would get at, I don't know, Olive Garden or somewhere like that. Never been really a big fan of that. But Kristine introduced me to Filipino spaghetti, which is different. Here in the U.S., like the Italian style spaghetti that we're used to is very like acidic and sour tasting sometimes. But this one is sweet, kind of like it says on the package. So instead of it being sour, it's a lot sweeter.
It is sweeter.
Yeah. It's
Thank
got sugar in
you
it.
to
Yeah.
my sister, Ate Raquel. Thank you for the recipe. Ate Raquel cooks the best spaghetti. You
Hot
know.
dogs too in it.
Yes.
To cut up hot dogs.
Uh-huh.
That's another thing.
Not hot dog. Well, we call it hot dogs. You
Yeah.
call it different.
Yeah. So in the U.S., you know, like, all right, we're used to like hot dogs, it being like the weenie and the bun, but their hot dog is just the weenie part, and they'll cut that up, like slice it up, and put it in the spaghetti instead of like spaghetti and meatballs. For them, it's like the spaghetti and hot dog. So it's
Yeah.
good though. It sounds different and might not be used to it, but it is way better than what you would think.
Tell them what we have. What I usually put in my spaghetti whenever I cook it.
Other than hot dog,
Other than the hot dog, I put
brown sugar.
No, I don't put brown sugar in there. Iba na naman sinasabi nito.
I don't know.
Nalito ko, besh.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The recipe, actually, I got it from my sister. Thank you, Ate Raquel. Like, the best spaghetti. Some of the ingredients, though, I cannot find it in here. Like, we don't have any liver spread in here. We put liver spread in that, you know, in the Philippines, and it's good. It's really good. But he loves it.
It's good.
And I've cooked it multiple times. Yeah. Next.
All right, this is your favorite.
It's
So
my favorite. It is really my favorite.
deep cut.
Potato
Got a
chips.
little potato running on it. I guess he's running because he doesn't want to get cut up and made into potato chips.
This is like my favorite. Oh yeah. Okay. So, well, I should have gotten 4. Okay. Yeah. Meron sila nitong potato chips, just like the regular potato chips. Have you had those? Not the Naku, naiyak ko na si Victoria. You know, just the plain potato chips, kind of like Lace. It's not
Ridges.
No, it's not. But I like this one. But this one. Is it?
Here in the U.S., we have something similar, Ruffles. We have Ruffle potato chips. It's kind of like the Ruffle type. So if you're a big fan of Ruffles, definitely try these. We used to get the spicy barbecue, which I know. I mean, I'm not a big spicy fan. I'll eat it, but I'm not crazy about it. But these actually aren't that bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
To me, they taste kind of like our regular barbecue. So if you had like a barbecue Ruffles chip, that's kind of what they're like.
This is so good. So good, so good, so good. I can eat like this whole bag and probably another one. It's about myself.
Well,
What's that?
that's the one we have the most of, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. They have different chips in there. Naku, narinig ko si Victoria. They have different chips in there. I just got the best one that I think that I'm gonna like the most. They have roller coaster, they have crack lace, they have Chippy, and they have Mr. Chips as well. I thought about getting Mr. Chips. You know, the blue? Yeah, did you see that earlier? It's kind of like a triangle. Yeah. But, bigat na lang. So, kumuha ko bigat. Baka maubos ko to, besh! Okay.
This was one of Kristine's magic syrup seasonings. So, I don't know anything about this.
Kind of like a seasoning. I remember the commercial of this. Not commercial. Advertisement. Commercial. Yeah. And they would just like sprinkle that and that, you know, when they're cooking.
Magic.
Yeah. Magic. That's why they call it magic syrup.
And then I got one of my personal favorites, chips, I guess if you want to say that, or snacks. Boy bawang. I always get the barbecue flavored. I've tried the, what is it, garlic?
The garlic, and then the, what's the other one?
They had
Adobo. You like the adobos, but they didn't have it in there.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they did?
They had a couple packages.
I didn't get it. Oh, you like that one better?
Yeah, I like the barbecue. So I've tried the adobo and the garlic boy bawang, but I'm a bigger fan of the barbecue. It's kind of, so these are like corn. What do they call it? Like fried corn chips.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's kind of what they look like. But they're good. They're really crunchy, and I guess if I had to compare them to something, they're similar to like peanuts, but they're slightly crunchier than peanuts are. And these are barbecue flavored. But here in the U.S., so differences, I guess, in culture.
Yeah.
In the U.S., especially in the southern U.S., so for my southern U.S. viewers, when we hear barbecue, we think of like pulled pork. I mean, that's usually what we think of, pulled pork with some sort of sauce. I know there's like differences, and I know like South Carolina and North Carolina and other places have different types of sauce they use. But in the Philippines, it's more of like meat on a stick that's been grilled. So is there?
Kind of like that. So I'm going to show you a picture of it.
It's like meat on a stick. But in the southern U.S., when we hear barbecue, we think of like pulled pork with sauce. So a little different.
We marinate it first, and then we put it on a stick, and then we grill it. That's our barbecue.
Yeah.
And it's different for y'all.
Here it's like shredded pork with some sort of sauce, like a barbecue sauce. Anyway, that's all that we got at the store. And to be honest with you, if we would have stayed in there longer, we could have probably bought even more because they had so much stuff in there.
Oh, I was gonna say, so this one, Kyle just eats this as is. In the Philippines, I don't know if I've told you about this already. Yeah, Victoria's kind of like complaining a little bit. She's playing in there. People who know me, they know that I mention everything, like whenever we cook, we put soy sauce or vinegar all the time. This one, the way we eat this is we get a bowl, we fill it with this one, and then put vinegar. And have I told you that?
Yeah, like a cereal.
Yeah, kind of like a cereal, but we don't put a whole bunch of vinegar in it, just enough to, I guess, coat the boy bawang, and we eat it like that. And that's actually really good. But I know you're not gonna like it. That's probably.
Now, recently, that reminds me too when she says that. I told her about. It used to be a thing kind of in the South. You remember I told you about this a couple weeks ago. It used to be a thing in the South that people would do. They would take like peanuts, like regular salted peanuts that you would get in a pack, and they would take like a bottle of Coca-Cola, and they would pour the peanuts in the Coke, and then drink it all together. So like they would drink it and eat the peanuts from one bottle of Coke.
Yeah.
And that was like a snack back in the day. Now people don't really do that anymore. I myself think it's a little weird, but you know, if you like it, you like it, I guess.
Yeah, when you told me about it, I was like, people do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I would eat peanuts and I'll drink Coke, but I'm not gonna put my peanuts.
People here used to put them together.
In a Coke, and then that's kind of. What if you like?
Choke. Yeah, I don't know.
You'll get choked. That's actually a choking hazard right there.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's got their own thing they like, I guess. All right. Now we've also got a couple Q&A questions, so we were going to do the haul and the Q&A together just to make it, pretty interesting video. I have a couple questions that I'm going to go through kind of about us, how we met, our relationship, and that sort of stuff. We also we put a post a couple days ago if anybody had any questions. And Leilani, she was somebody who commented on the post.
Hey, Leilani.
Yeah.
Leilani is Catherine's friend, one of Catherine's friends.
Yeah. Catherine's my sister, for those that didn't know. Anyway, she asked in here, how was building a relationship with it being long distance? So, for those that don't know...
Our story.
Yeah. So, do you want me to run through it, or do you want to?
Yeah.
So, Kristine and I met originally online, and once we met online, we started talking. So at first, I don't know if either one of us really knew that the relationship was going to progress as far as what it did. We met online, and at first it was just kind of we would talk occasionally here and there. Kristine, I guess, didn't think that I was going to stay with her, talking and all.
That when we met, that day, I thought to myself that, he's not going to text me anymore. Yeah, he's not going to worry about texting me anymore. That's what I thought. I've never really pictured you texting me again. Yeah, I never thought about that. Like, okay, that was fun, talking the first day, but yeah.
But I ended up sticking with it and continuing to talk with her.
Yeah.
But what was interesting about it, so she grew up and was born and raised in the Philippines, but moved to Canada. How old were you when you moved there? 20?
I was
20 what? 7, 8?
I think I was 26.
26.
Right. Yeah, hey, we have a guest of honor and speaker in the video. Say hi, Rosie. Say hi, everybody. Okay, she is calling our
She was getting fussy because she could hear us talking, but she knew that we weren't right there with her, so she needed a little companionship, I guess, for now.
Okay, you can stay in here with Mama and Dada.
But going back to how we met and stuff, so we talked for a while. She was living in Canada. She moved there when she was, what did we decide, 26? So 26, and I would have been, how old when we met?
You're 21.
Yeah, well, there's a 5.5 year age difference. She's 5.5 years older.
Yeah.
But I was living in the U.S., obviously, where I am now, and she was living in Canada, a few hours east of where Vancouver is. And we started talking, and after a while, I started to realize that, hey, this is somebody that I want to continue the relationship with. I want to build on from this and, take it somewhere. And I was nervous because when you meet somebody online, you don't know how it's going to be. You don't know whether or not that person is just looking to take something from you or to scam you out of something or whatever. And her and I both thought that about each other for a little while.
Yeah. I didn't tell him my whole name. He only knows my first name. And he was asking me, "What's your last name?"
But even if she would have told me, I wouldn't have known how to even say it. So.
Yeah. So I just told him my name. Just, you can call me Kristine B. I didn't tell him where I lived in Canada. He knows that I live in Canada. I did find out though. But you found out. And I found out too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I found out where she lived. This is kind of going off topic a little bit. She sent me a picture at a work Christmas party they had at a bowling alley, and I ended up looking up the location of the bowling alley in Canada and found out where it was at, what city. And you had your sister to find out where I lived.
So hi, Ate Osheng. Ate Osheng is, I think, an FBI agent on the side. Yeah. So of course, I am the youngest of 4 siblings. Did I say that right? Okay, I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, and
4.
Yeah.
Would it be 3 siblings? And because you have 3 siblings.
Yeah, but I am the youngest.
You're the youngest of 4. I don't know. You're the youngest of 4, I guess.
I'm the youngest of 4. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. And my sis.
I think you said it right the first time.
See, I just got it right the first time. Anyway, my sisters, my older sisters, are very, very protective of me. Right.
She wants some chips.
And when I told them
Can you
about,
smell it?
you can smell it. Poor baby. Don't worry. Whenever you start eating, we'll give you all the food that you want, but not chips though. Not chips.
Might
Yeah,
cut your mouth.
Yeah. Where was I? Anyway, my sisters. Yeah, Ate Rochelle was the one who did the investigating, because when I told them about him, and I said he didn't have any Facebook, so I don't like this word. Social media.
Social media.
That's the only account that I was using. I didn't have Instagram. He had Instagram, but that would be like a different story because he didn't want to add me on there. That's another story time. Yeah. Because this video is already long. So that's going to be another story time about that. Anyway, Ate Rochelle did all the investigating, like, you know, where he lives. He found out his name. She found out his name. Where he lives, his parents' name, and all that. So, yeah. So,
we ended up finding out. All right. Getting back to the story a little bit. We still have questions to do, so we're getting way off topic here. So she was living in Canada, and we talked for almost 8 months before I told anybody about her or who she was or where she lived or anything like that. So after that time, I ended up telling people, because at that point I kind of realized that, you know, this was not somebody who was trying to scam me, not somebody who was just looking to get something out of me. And she, you know, knew that I was not trying to do the same as well. Mm-hmm. So anyway, after that, I made plans to, well, originally you were going to come here.
I was going to come here.
But,
visit, you know.
Just to make the story shorter, she wasn't able to. This was like peak COVID time, so she wasn't able to come here. So plans changed, and I decided that I was going to go see her. So the night before my flight was scheduled to take out of Atlanta, we were kind of nervous and scared because, again, this is peak COVID times. This would have been like late 2020. And at that time, you weren't really supposed to go into another country, leave the country, whatever, unless you had like permission or you were somebody who was like a medical personnel, somebody who was, you know, meant to be there, I guess, not just for travel or, you know, to see somebody you're in a relationship with, I guess. Yeah. So we were nervous, but I ended up flying there, flew into the Vancouver airport, and the guy that was there, really nice guy, I talked to him and I told him the situation, like, here, you know, I'm here to meet, you know, my girlfriend, and, you know, please, if you could just let me through. I told him kind of the plan I had, and he said, you know, if anybody asks, y'all have known each other for, you know, a long time, and, you know, you're just coming to stay with her for a little while. And I said, yep. And he said, okay, go ahead and go on through. And that was where we met. So I guess technically, if he wanted to be strict, he could have turned me away right there, and I would have had to fly the 2,000 and whatever miles back home. Yeah. So that would have been bad. But anyway, stayed there for a little while. It wasn't quite as fun because, you know, COVID, and
we didn't really get to go out.
Yeah, we didn't get to quite do as much as what we had hoped because of quarantine and all that. But still, I mean, just being together was nice because that was the first time we actually got to be around each other. All right, we had to move the camera a little closer because we felt like it was halfway across the table from us.
No, we did the haul earlier. We needed the space.
But anyway, getting back to it, I finally had to come back, and, you know, that was tough having to leave for only being together for a couple weeks. And then at that point, we started working on the fiance visa process, which, if you've ever had to go through that, it can take a while. Ours took, what, a little over a year?
A little over a year.
Yeah, to finally get through. Now, of course, that was COVID time, so that had a lot to do with the delays. But that's tough. And anybody that's going through that knows how tough it is. But it's just something you have to do if you want the relationship to work.
Yeah.
But anyway,
going back to the question.
All that to say, you know, back to the question.
Sorry, Leilani. This is the video is already 38 minutes.
Yeah, we had to give a little bit of backstory to make it, you know, to help everybody truly understand what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to her question: how was building a relationship with it being long distance? It's tough. It is tough because unlike a lot of couples that are able to be there, you know, physically together at the same time, for us it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had to make the most of date nights or, you know, time that we could spend with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that involved
Watching
movies. So what we would typically do, we found a couple websites that worked pretty well where you could like project a movie and then her and I both could watch it at the same time. But we also just found it easier if we watched it, like I would watch it on my computer and then her and I would FaceTime on a cell phone. So it kind of feels like you're there with the person and watching it at the same time. And we would have to like time it. Like, okay, let's be like 3, 2, 1, play. And we'd have to play the video.
I think she's hungry. We are gonna get bottle for Rosie real quick and then we'll be right back.
All right, so getting back to it. It's tough. Again, being in a long distance relationship, not being able to be with that person. But we did things like we mentioned with the movies. We would have date nights where her and I, you know, would cook something, and then after we got done cooking, we would eat it, you know, whatever we had cooked together, like over FaceTime.
There were times we would cook the same food. Yeah,
I remember like we had the one time where we made like sandwiches together.
Yes, we made sandwiches together. He even bought the same rice cooker as the one that I got.
We had matching rice cookers.
Yeah,
so.
matching rice cookers. We're cheese balls.
Yeah. But that's just things you have to do. If you really want the relationship to work out, it doesn't matter how far you are from each other. If it's truly going to work out and you really put in the time and the effort, then it will. They're not easy. I'll tell you that firsthand. They are, in my opinion, probably the hardest relationship that you'll ever be in. But I think it does really test how much you do love each other and if you're willing to make it work. So
yeah, it was so difficult. One thing too that made it a little bit more difficult is the time difference, because we didn't, you know, you
were 3 hours behind.
I was 3 hours behind. So I guess it worked out for us before when I was still working in Canada, because my shift would start at 4 a.m. until 12 noon. So I would have to go to sleep early, and by that time that I would have to go to sleep, he's already about to go to sleep as well. So it worked out for the both of us, but that was very difficult. I remember there were times we would have, I guess, going to the mall dates. We would FaceTime each other while we are walking.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, if you're in a long distance relationship, making sure that you have mobile devices, I guess, FaceTime, or if you're using like Messenger, you can do like video call on Messenger. I mean, there would be times where, you know, I would go out, whether it be to the mall or, you know, go out to eat or whatever, and I would FaceTime her while I was doing it. Now, did it look silly maybe to some people to see me just walking around or eating by myself with her on FaceTime? Sure. But, you know, I didn't care. You know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It worked for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's not their relationship, so who cares? But anyway, just finding ways to still connect, even though you're not physically there. You know, having those date nights, having those times that you can spend together, even despite the differences in location or time or whatever. So anyway, I would say that's probably the best way to build a relationship or to continue with it.
Yeah, you really have to put forth the effort to communicate daily. We talk every single day. Like, I had to make sure that my phone and my iPad and my MacBook was charged, because that's where we communicate. We talk over the phone. We even have our headphones in. I know this is not safe, and I don't recommend it. Remember when we go to sleep, we have our headphones in. We have our headphones in. I don't recommend that. That's really bad. But we did that for
months and months,
years.
Yeah.
Since we started talking. No. When we started talking, we didn't really like. We're gonna be talking.
Yeah, I mean, we would pretty much talk up until the moment of going to sleep, and so.
What we're gonna, since it's already like 44-minute video on my end, I'm still gonna have to edit that. We're gonna do part 2. So this is the end of part 1, guys, of the haul and Q&A. And make sure to like and subscribe so that you'll get notified as well whenever we post the part 2. Right.